But with the arms out in front of you, go ahead and make them soft. You might see distractions in the back, as I think my husband is outside in the backyard. And my dog is somewhere hovering around. So spread your fingers, push the heel of your hands down. You know, you get into a pose, you don't have to stay there, right? You can move around a little bit through it. And so I'm just moving my spine a little bit to wake it up a little bit more and kind of notice where I'm at today. Every day is different on the mat. Every single time I step on the mat, I could be in a different place. Take a few more breaths here and then start to make your arms a little bit more active. So again, pushing the heel of the hands forward. Letting the shoulders release away from the ears without collapsing. A few more breaths here. Inhale all the way onto your hands and knees. Cross one leg in front of the other, it doesn't matter which one. Sit back behind your heels or sit on a block or bolsters. And then just rock a little bit side to side so you've got the flesh released. And now see if you can bring your heels underneath your knees rather than crossing just at the ankles. Place the hands on top of your thighs to give you a little length in your spine. And we can all sit here like the floor on the hill. Bring the crown of the head to the sky. And just observe. Bring the chin to the chest, relax the shoulders down. And then bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Release your left arm out to the left side. Take your right hand and gently guide your ear towards your shoulder. Now you can stay right where you are if you feel like that's enough sensation for you. Or maybe walk your hand back a little further, see if that changes the sensation. And some of you might even want to take your chin a little bit more towards your collarbone. And then just release your hand and draw your chin towards your chest. Lengthen your spine, bring the head on top of your shoulders. Let the left ear come to the left shoulder, right arm stays out. Left arm can come around and just gently guide your ear towards your shoulder. Keep the length through your torso. And then stay where you are, or move your arm to see if you get any different feeling, any more communication, and maybe even tuck your chin towards your collarbones. So we just notice where we are in our bodies. Release the arm and drop the chin towards the chest. Take both arms behind the back, interlace your fingers, push the palms together, and just push the knuckles to the floor as you lift your chest up. Good. Pull the shoulders back and down, broaden the collarbones. Breathe in wide through the spaces, top, bottom, side to side. Now release your arms, inhale the left arm up. Exhale, turn over to your right side, twist. Inhale, say hi to these strange people. Arm up and over. Cross the right arm over the left arm. And then lift up and see if you want to double cross the arms, eagle arms. Lift the arms up and lift the heart up. Imagine that you're pulling your arms apart from each other. So feel some action in the upper back, shoulder. Bring the arms down. Release the arms. Take them overhead. Lean back and just shake out the cross of your legs. So you might have one side that sits a little more comfortable than others, and it's probably the side you chose to go to initially. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Reach your fingers up, ground your sitting bones down, and take your right arm outside the left leg, left arm behind you. Find length in the spine, inhale. And twist, exhale. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, left arm up and over. Exhale, cross the arms. So wherever you are, it could be high, low. You can maybe just even hold on to your shoulders. Or see if you want to double bind your arms for eagle arms. And then lift the arms up, lift the heart up. Lift the eye gaze up more than your neck, so don't crank so much in your neck. And then exhale, release the arms down. Open up your arms, spread them all the way back. Up overhead. once again, take the arms behind your back, but interlace the other finger on top. Knuckles stay at the floor, lift your chest up. Good, and then release your hands again, lean back, undo your legs, shake them out. And let's just come into a wider squat here, taking your toes outside and hands inside the legs, and pull the knees on top of the triceps and just open your legs with your arms and reach your arms in front of you. Pull the belly into the spine, round your back. Good, reaching your fingers forward but dropping your hips down. And then inhale, hinge forward, come to your hands, take your hips up and turn your toes forward. And bend your knees a lot. Walk your hands back in front of your feet or on your blocks. Bend your knees enough that your palms are on the floor. Let your head come down. And then sink your weight a little bit towards the front of the toes, the ball of the foot. Head down, shake it out, yes and no. And then chin to chest as you begin to perhaps straighten your legs a little bit more. We're going to stay here for a moment. And we're going to bend the knees again on the next inhale. So look forward, bend your knees. It's like you're going to take a little leapfrog. And then straighten your legs as much as your body allows right now at this point in our practice. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Doesn't have to be huge movements, just enough to kind of lubricate the joints. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, round and curl. Walk your hands one arm print forward, so you're like in a short down dog with a wide leg. Inhale, look up. Walk your hands forward again. And then walk your feet back to your downward facing dog. Lift up onto your toes. And lower your heels. And let's measure out our dogs by coming on our toes, shift forward. Shoulders over wrists, look forward, crown of the head to tailbone nice and long. Pull the belly in. And then spread your shoulders apart. Inhale. Very nice. Exhale, hips up in the air, down dog. One more time on your toes. Keep strong in your legs. So pull your knees up, engage your quadriceps, come forward to high plank, look forward. Now lower your left knee. Keep your right foot where it is. Square up your hips and shoulders, top of the foot and shin down on the floor for stability. And then lift your right leg up off the floor. Take your left arm in front of you, thumb up. Reach in two directions. So make sure you're not ski sloping your spine, but your belly is pulled in, your ribs are tucked in, and your pelvis, your hip points are pointing towards the floor. Now just take your arm and leg down. Touch the floor and take it back up. Take it down. Take it back up. Take it down. Take it up. Reach in two directions. Exhale, hand down. Knee to chest round and curl. Step your right foot forward between your legs and take your back knee back a little further so you're not sitting on the knee. And then I like to put my hands on blocks, but you can use the floor. But try not to put your weight into your right thigh. So lift your belly up and off your thigh. Pull your shoulders back and down. Back leg you can have tucked under, or you can have the top of the foot and shin pressing down. Push the big toe of the right foot down. Hug your hips in. Take another breath here as you begin to straighten your front leg. And then decide if you want to take your blocks on a higher level if you're using them, or maybe even move them back. Whatever kind of, suits your body right now. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Now lengthen your spine. Find a little bit more space in the spine as you fold over. So we don't just go into a twist, a bend, a bind without lengthening first. It gives us our maximum movement. Rebend the front knee on the inhale. Good, come back to your fingertips. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. Exhale, bring your left arm under your right. You can hug yourself or you can take your eagle bind, lift your heart. Now a little bit different. Come back onto your knee a little bit more upright. And then just tuck your chin to your chest and touch the top of your knee with your arms. Round and curl. Come back up all the way, inhale. If it's too much on your knee, go back where you were. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale one more time. Exhale, round and curl. Release your bind, stretch your arms behind you. Hinge forward again. Release your hands to the floor. And then step back to a downward facing dog. Tuck your back toes under and straighten your back leg and come into dog. Walk it out. One leg at a time. Come high on your tippy toes, engage your quads, belly lifted, pelvic floor lifted. Shift forward to a high plank, look forward. Push back to downward dog. Remember, you can always modify on your knees. Up on your toes again, come forward, high plank. Lower your right knee, keep your left toes tucked underneath you. Behind you, hips are squared. Lift the left leg off the floor, toes down, right arm in front, thumb up. Pull the belly up and in, lengthen out of your center point. And then touch arm and foot to the floor. Come back up 2 more times. Press down through your right foot for some stability. Top of the foot and chin. One more time. Hold it up long. Reach in 2 directions again. Lengthen out your spine. One more breath. Good. Exhale, hand down. Step your left foot over. I had to step over my blocks. And then snuggle your back hip back a little bit more. So you're not sitting directly on your knee. Shoulders are backing down. Heart is lifted. Pressing firmly into your front foot. Drawing the foot like as if you were pulling it back towards your back leg. So you'll feel a little activation under the leg. And then just keep long in your spine and smile, because we won't get fooled again. Sit back onto your right shin, straighten your front leg. You choose, do you want to have your hands back closer, hands on blocks, higher, toes up, toes down. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward, lengthen your spine, inhale. And exhale. Breathe in, breathe out. This was the concert that got canceled, my first COVID cancellation, April. One more breath, 2 years ago. Anybody remember those days? Yes. Inhale, bend your knees. Good. Now come back a little bit more upright. Place your hands on your thighs for a moment. Just lift up tall. Then inhale the arms up overhead. Take the right arm under the left once or twice, or just hug yourself. Eagle arm wrap. Inhale, lift your heart up. And here we're just going to do like a little crunch. Round and curl. No, it doesn't count for your ab challenge. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, round and curl. Elbows to the top of the knees. Scoop out your belly. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, rise up. Release the arms. Stretch them overhead. And then exhale, fold down. Hands on the floor or blocks. Tuck your right toes underneath you and step into your downward facing dog. Walk your dogs. Inhale onto your tippy toes. Shift forward to your high plank. Line it up. Stack shoulders over wrists, ankles over toes, or heels over toes. Come forward and either bend your knees or go halfway down with legs straight. And then roll over your toes. Up dog or low cobra on your belly. And then we meet in down dog. Wow, Sin. Go for it. Breathe. I think I have to add a push-up challenge. Good. Now walk your hands back to your feet, back of your mat. Grab your blocks if you need them or like them. Fold over your legs. Shake out your neck, yes and no. And then just grab opposite elbows here. Keep your feet wide enough for balance. Sway a little side to side. Keep doing that, but change the cross of your arms. And then when you're ready, just fold to the center. Again, start with your knees bent. And then if you decide to straighten your legs, straighten it while you're down there. Right? Don't force it to be straight. Inhale, place your hands to your hips. Lengthen your spine. And come all the way up. Exhale. Exhale the arms down by your side. Inhale, bring your arms all the way overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms inside out and upside down. Reach out of your waistline. Ground through your feet firmly. Think about the big toe, little toe, ball of the foot heel. Lift the knees up, not back. And then squeeze your outer thighs outward or your pinky edges towards the outer edge of your mat. Lift out of your waistline and lean to your right side. Pull your left shoulder back to frame your face. Lift your knees up and stay nice and strong. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Up and over to the other side. Exhale. Pull your right shoulder back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release your arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles down. Send your weight to your left leg, so lift just your right heel for a moment. And then balance on the left leg for a moment. Extend your right leg in front of you and step it about 2 to 3 feet forward. Oops. And then fold over before you lift your leg. Just square up your body, hands at your back or off your back. Then lift your left leg up for a moment, just a moment in time. And then bring the left knee up to your chest. Extend the leg out. Step down before lifting your back foot up. Hinge forward, square your hips. Decide what you're doing with your arms. And then bend the left knee enough that you can take flight. Right leg lifts up off the floor. Step your feet together. Inhale, lift your heart. So you should have made it to the top of your mat. Release your arms, take a big breath in, bring the arms overhead. And bring prayer to your heart center. Close your eyes for a moment, settle in. Good. Open your eyes, stretch the arms down and up overhead. Lift your heart up. Exhale, fold through center, hands on floor, shins or blocks. Inhale with a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Have your blocks nearby just in case you want to use them. So right leg is back, left leg is forward, left knee over the ankle, right heel over your toes. Firm, active back leg. So it's as if your back leg were in plank. Lengthen your spine. Come to your fingertips or your fingertips on the blocks. And then release the arms by your side without lifting anything up, right? So stay as low as you are. Strong back leg. Hug your hips to midline. And then bring the arms up overhead. Bend your back knee, drop the hip down low. And then stay low, but straighten your back leg. Lift out of your rib cage, out of your waistline. Find space. Inhale. Sink a little lower, exhale. Good. Stay for a few breaths. Tuck your ribs underneath you. Again, squaring off the hips. If your arms overhead is too much stress on your shoulders, bring your arms a little forward. Even bend your arms if you need to. One more breath, inhale. Now exhale, come forward again, hinge forward, arms forward, and then down to the floor as you straighten your front leg. And now here you might want to shorten your stance or again bring your blocks further back or higher up. It all depends on you and your hamstrings and what's going on in your body. Lengthen your spine, inhale. And fold over, exhale, head towards your shins. Left hip back, right hip forward, breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Bend your front knee a little or a lot. Hold on to the floor or blocks and float your right leg off the floor. Square it off. Supported Warrior 3, aka my new favorite pose in the last 2 years. Now while you're in this Warrior 3, you can keep the left knee bent or begin to straighten it. For the first one, let's keep our hands on the floor. I guess that's foreshadowing there might be another one. Bring your feet together at the top of your mat. Inhale, rise to stand, bring the arms up overhead, bring prayer to your heart center, exhale. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, fold down, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step to high plank. Take a push-up, skip it, go to down dog. We'll all meet in down dog. Or child's pose if that's where you want to be. Breathe in your downward facing dog. Find energy through the legs. Everything starts from the bottom up. Press the weight out of the hands towards the heels. They'll go to child's pose if this is too much. Inhale, walk your hands back to your feet once again. Back of your mat. Forward fold over your legs. Shake out your neck, yes and no. And once again, grab opposite elbows. Take the unfamiliar side first. Right, your less habitual side. Just create new habits. And then take the other arm on top. Inhale, release your hands to your hips, lengthen your spine, rise up to stand. Stack your spine, release your arms. Inhale the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms inside out and upside down. Feel the grounding through the legs, lift up and over to the right side. Heart opens. Find a little bit of an edge now. Inhale to center and exhale up and over. Inhale back to center. Release your arms to the side. Roll your shoulders back and around. Good. Inhale your arms up overhead again. Exhale, bring the arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers, one finger over from your normal grip. Knuckles down, heart lifts. Send your weight to your right leg and lift your left heel. Good. Balance on your right leg and see if you can lift the left leg up. Balance. Extend the leg out. Step it down. Stay here as you square up your body. Reach the arms back or stay on your back. Soften your front knee. Lift your right leg off the floor. And then bring the knee towards the chest. Take your time. Extend the leg out in front of you. Step it forward. Hinge forward. Square your hips, soften your right leg, and then lift your left leg off the floor. Any amount. Step together, top of the mat. Release the arms, bring them overhead. Take prayer to your heart center. Arms down by your side. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the floor, shins or your blocks. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your left foot all the way back. Big lunge. You can, of course, go to your knee. Right knee on your ankle, over your ankle. Left heel over your toes. Back leg is nice and strong and active. Good. Now, bring your fingertips off the floor. Stay strong, hug the right hip to the midline. Everything squares off. Good. And then hover your fingers off the floor. Bring the arms by your side. Crown of the head forward. Tailbone back. Good. Keeping the legs the same, start to sweep your arms up overhead. When you get up, bend your back knee low enough. It's great, Maxine. Now I can see you. Straighten your back leg, but keep your hips low. Inhale. Reach up, reach down, two directions. Find space. Move into your space. Yeah, breathe. Real estate is limited these days. Use your own. One more breath, sinking a little bit lower perhaps. Exhale, hands to the floor or blocks. Straighten your front leg. And just like we did when we were standing and walking forward to the front of the mat, square your hips off, lengthen your spine, and then fold over your right leg. Get up. Take another 2 breaths. Good. Inhale, look forward. Walk your hands forward on the floor or blocks. Soften your front knee, a lot or a little, and take flight, lifting the left leg off the floor, squaring up your hips, hug that right hip back to center. It wants to sneak away from you. Lengthen your spine, collarbones broad. Feel free to straighten the leg a little bit more, a lot, or keep it bent. Notice what goes on differently. One more breath as you step your feet together. Inhale, lengthen your spine, rise all the way up. Exhale, take prayer to your heart center. Inhale, release your arms by your side, separate your feet about hips width, maybe a little less. Bend your knees so your fingers graze the floor or your blocks. And then sweep your arms forward and up for chair pose. I know it had to happen sometime, right? Weight back in your heels. Maybe lift your toes to notice that. Take a big breath. And then hinge forward and fold your body. Inhale with a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. Again, you can be on the blocks. Keep your hips squared. Keep your left leg bent. Hover your fingers and bring the arms back behind you by your side. Good. Inhale, bring it up to crescent lunge. Exhale. Stay with your arms overhead if you can and straighten your front leg. Good. Let's bend it again. So come down, bend both knees, straighten both legs, bend both knees, straighten both legs, and then let's go ahead and bend both knees again. Stay low but straighten the back leg. Hinge forward, bring your arms by your side, and either go back to the floor or float in warrior 3. Heart lifts, toes down. So we kind of went there a little bit, right, on our walks forward and our hands supported. Nice, Laura. Beautiful, gang. All right. Now bring your right leg back to your standing into your chest. Try not to touch down. Bring your right ankle or knee, above your left knee. Hook your feet or put your foot on the floor or block, and then sit down. Square your hips, shoulders. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Cross right arm under left once or twice. Eagle, lift up. Exhale, sit. If you like to fold forward, bring the elbows in front of the knee. You don't have to do that, right? Anything you want. It's your show, right? It's your mat, it's your practice. Good. Inhale, rise up, release your arms and legs. Exhale, separate your feet, fold over and grab your peace finger grip with your big toes. Lengthen your spine, inhale. And exhale, pull your elbows out to the side as you bring your weight forward, head to shins. Take another breath. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Release your hands to your hips. Inhale all the way up to standing. Bring your feet closer together, arms by your side. Inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor or blocks. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Left leg steps back, low lunge. Just settle in, right? Don't be in a rush. Hug your hips together. And then begin to hover your hands. Arms by your side. Nothing changed in my entire body except my arms moving. Now I'll lift my torso up, bring the arms up overhead. Drop your hips low. Stay for a few moments. Bring your ribs down towards your hips, so kind of knit your ribs together, as they say. Now here with your arms up, begin to straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend both knees. Get lower. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend both knees, stay here. Straighten your back leg, inhale, hug hips to center. Good. Breathe, release your arms, and then bring them back down as you hinge your torso forward. Feel a lot of work in your right glute. And then take flight, and many steps as you need to get there, or just one step and you're in the air. You choose. Beautiful. Inhale, bring it center. Left leg over right once or twice. Hug your hips together. Left arm under right once or twice. Inhale. Exhale. So your left foot could be on the floor on a block, or it could be bound all the way behind your knee. Drop your tailbone low. And if you choose to fold forward, elbows in front of the knee, not resting on it. So we practiced this a little bit earlier. Very nice. Good. Figure 4 is great too. Inhale, come on up. Exhale. Rise up, inhale, release. Exhale, prayer to the heart. Open up your feet, forward fold. This time lift your toes up and slide your hands underneath. Wrap your big toe around your wrist. Look forward, inhale. And exhale, Hastasana. Not Hastasana. And then push your feet against your hands and your hands against your feet. And again, here's where you decide, can I straighten my legs? Do I have to keep them bent? Sending the weight forward rather than back. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Release your hands to the floor. First, lengthen your spine. And then bring your hands to your hips as you stand all the way up. Bring your feet closer together. Bring your arms down by your side. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, step, high plank. Take a breath. Choose your way to downward dog. Your way. And we'll meet in downward dog. Square your shoulders and hips off. Send the weight out of your hands to your heels. And then lift your right foot off the floor, but keep the toes down so your hips are even. Inhale. Keep lengthening. As we did on our knees, imagine that your right leg is behind you. Some of you may even want to take your left arm up in front of you. Let's see. Any takers? Ooh, yeah, downward dog. Feet down on the floor. Good. Lift the right leg again. Same leg, same height. Point your toes, lengthen out of your hip. Knee to chest, round and curl. Step forward in between your hands. Turn your toes on their side. Turn to the left side of your mat. Take a block with you in between your two legs. Lengthen your spine on the inhale. Bring your hands to your hips as you rise up to stand. Bring your hands to your back, fingers in either direction, lift up, and just give a subtle back bend here. Knees lift up. So make sure you're not arching in your lower back, but rather the middle upper back. Good. Your toes are parallel, or your feet are parallel to each other, to the short edges of your mat. Hinge forward. Take your torso parallel to the floor now. Bend your knees a little bit. Some of you a lot. Take your block in your hands. Bring the block out in front of you. If you don't have a block, bring your arms out in front of you. Now bend your knees enough that you can send your weight back a little bit more. And then take your block in your right hand and place the block on your back. So now, if your back is not flat, your block may go. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Keep this pose. If you don't have a block, call Amazon, you'll have one at noon. Go. Reach the arms out in front of you. Now, if you want to straighten your legs here again, this is a good place, but don't put the weight back. Put the weight forward a little bit. Now, take your left hand and take the block out in front of you. And then bring the block to the floor, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over, take your peace finger grip again around your big toes. Lengthen your spine. And no, that wasn't part of your ab challenge either. Head down towards the floor. Shake it out yes, shake it out no. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your hips. Actually, move your block up to the front of your mat. Lift your hands to your hips. Good. Turn your right toes forward. Step your left foot a little bit closer and turn the foot forward. So about hips width apart. Square your hips again. Good. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, grab opposite wrists, elbows, forearms, or prayer up your back. And again, square the hips. Inhale. Exhale, lean forward. Stop halfway. So we've kind of prepared ourselves for a lot of this halfway movement. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then fold with a long spine. So only go as far as your spine remains long rather than rounded. Pulling back on the right hip, forward on the left. Breathe. Keep your steady gaze out in front of your foot. Wherever your arms are now, release them to the floor or blocks. Bring your chin to your chest, round your spine, and put your forehead on your knee. Forehead on your knee. if you don't touch your forehead to your knee, bend your knee so you can. And then perhaps begin to straighten your leg. Inhale, look forward. Take a block in front of you. Send your weight into your right leg. Before using your hands, lift your left leg off the floor. So it's like a warrior 3. Square your hips. Then bring your left hand on the floor or a block in front of you. Right hand to your hip. Begin to lengthen your spine before you rotate to the right side. So the hips are level. And then maybe your right arm goes up. Reverse half moon pose. To me, like the hardest pose in all of yoga. It's just that challenging to me. Good. One more breath, everybody. And then release your hands to the floor. Standing split. Anybody who chooses to go into handstands here, kick up your feet and take your flying into handstand. So today on our standing splits, we're going to keep our hips square, which means for a lot of us, the leg's not going to go that high probably. A lot of us. Some of them will. One more breath in your split. Bend your front knee and then step back. Let's lower the left knee to the floor for a minute, get some relief in the hips. Yeah, and just stay here for a moment. Close your eyes, let your chin come down. All right, come back to your downward facing dog. Hips up in the air. If you have a block on the right side of your mat, you can just bring it to the side now. Inhale, stretch your left leg in the air. Toes down, hips hug in. So it's not high, the hip is not open. Lengthen out of your leg, out of your hip. And some of you want to challenge yourself. Lift the right, maybe just go to the fingertips. Or maybe the right arm will go forward. Lower hand and foot if it's up. Take a breath here. And then lift the left leg again. Toes down, hips square. Point your toes, bring your knee to your chest, round curl. Round and step it forward. Good. And then let's turn to the right side of the mat. Lengthen your spine. Bring your hands to your hips, come up to standing. Okay, no more of the moving the block, but keep your hands on your hips. Lengthen. Come down, halfway. Crown of the head forward. Knees are softly bent. Weight can shift back if the knees are bent, but if they're going back too far, Then place one or both hands on the block or the floor in front of you. Take your left hand on the block, right hand to your sacrum, lengthen. Keep the hips as squared as you can, and then turn to your right side, stack your shoulders. Now draw that right hip back to center, right arm up. So this is also like reverse triangle where we got to keep those hips together. So you know that I find that challenging. Right arm down. Left hand moves to your hip. Lengthen your spine again. Turn to your left side. Draw the left hip back to center, left arm up. So sometimes I tell you it's okay, you can shift off. But today we're kind of working on square hips a lot. You may or may not have noticed. Breathe in. And then come back to center. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, turn your left toes forward. Step forward with your right foot to straighten both legs. Come to your hands to your hips and rise up to standing. So adjust yourself. If you feel like you're not even there, make the movements. I'm wider. These days I keep myself wider. It's probably just age is making me feel that way. Take your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your arms wherever, fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, or if you did reverse prayer, reverse it again. If you crossed your thumbs, if you crossed anything, cross the other way. Lift your heart up, open your chest. Now, keeping yourself squared, go down halfway. And then if you don't have the camera on you or you can't see, think about pulling your left hip back and right hip forward to get the levelness of the hips. It's kind of really hard to see in yourself. Keep lengthening your spine, keep standing strong in your toes and your feet, and then continue to hinge forward until your body will no longer stay in a flat spine. Right? Once you hit a rounded spine, you're in too far. Keep breathing, keep leveling off the hips, keep finding the weight evenly distributed. One more breath. Good. As you exhale the breath, hands come down. Now bend your left knee, tuck your chin to your chest, round your back, and put your forehead on your knee. And if you can't get your forehead on your knee, bend your knees so you can. It's okay. It's a good cheat. It's an acceptable cheat. Take another breath. Inhale, look forward. Good. You can put a block at the front of your mat. Bring your weight to your left leg. Lift your right heel off the floor. Turn your toes down so it's like a supported warrior 3. And then take your right hand to the block, left hand to your hip. Press strong into your left leg, lengthen your spine, and rotate. Left arm perhaps comes up. Again, we're hugging our hips towards the midline. It's a very, to me, very challenging pose. Yeah. Nice, Laura. Any variations or? Hang in there, one more breath. Good, now lower your hand to the floor and standing splits, right leg in the air, head towards your chest, chest towards your thighs, head towards your shin. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften your front knee. Take a big step back, lower your right knee to the floor. Just hinge forward, release. One more breath. Tuck your back toes under, find downward facing dog. Inhale on your tippy toes. Shift forward. Take a vinyasa or skip it, go back to dog. We all meet up in dog. Good, bring your knees to the earth. Sit back on your heels for a moment. Good, now if you have a block, rather than sit back on your heels, you can also put a block under your hips if this is too extreme for your hips or knees. Take the block behind you on any height, about an arm's length behind you. Good, so sit up on your heels. Bring your arms overhead. Exhale. You can take your right hand to the block and then your left hand to the block and just open up the front of your shoulders here. So stay seated on your heels for a moment. If you don't have a block, you're just reaching towards the floor. You might not get as far. Some of you are happy right here. Some of you might want to lift off your heels. It's not camel, so your shoulders, your hips are not going to be over your knees. Lift your chest up, stretch the front of your thighs. Stretch the front of your shoulders. And then lower your hips. Cup your heels with your hands. Now I'll turn this way. Bring your chin to your chest. Round your spine, put your forehead on your knees, and lift your hips up off your heels. Camel or rabbit pose. Pulling your belly into your spine, looking like a D. And then lower your hips to your heels. Come back up to sit on your heels. Take your time coming up so you don't get dizzy. I'm just going to move my block block and turn around to the front of the room again. Well, I would just have to turn around. And then come up onto your shins. Place your hands on your hips, either direction, toes under or on top. So you're going to choose again which way you have to go. Let's start with the right arm. So take the right arm up overhead. Follow it behind you to your heel, or if you have a block, by the way, you can put the block in between your feet and do that. Right, on its higher side probably for some. And then take your left arm up and bring it back as well. So maybe you're on the block with two hands. And here you have camel pose. My camels and rabbits. All right, I better get used to that before Easter, yeah? Or your hands are on your hips, or maybe your hands are on the block, or the foot or the floor. And then you do push your hips over your knees, right? So any of the same pose, and of course if this doesn't work, bridge pose is the same pose. One more big breath. Good, whatever you're holding on to, put your hands back on your hips. And once again, cup your hands around your heels, sit on your heels, bring your chin to your chest, round over, lift your hips up and round your spine. Sit back on your heels. Slowly roll yourselves up. All right, bring your legs out to either side in front of you and sit with a bent knee. So I'm just going to turn my mat so you can see better. All right, gather everything together. Bend your knees. Adjust your flesh. Bring your hands underneath your shoulder, underneath your thighs. Sit up. I know I had my husband, always thinks he's helping me out, but I have my cheat sheet for our ab workout. I'm wondering if I should just throw it in right here, guys. You know, I won't. Let's do our yoga. Hands under your thighs, lift up nice and tall. Good. Once again, bring your chin to your chest, relax your shoulders. Pull your belly in, round your spine. Let go of the right arm. Let go of the left arm. Keep the scooped out belly. Articulate your spine slowly down. So start your tailbone. Oh, I was wondering what I was feeling underneath me. I have a knot in my shirt. Roll down one vertebrae at a time. When you get to the floor, bring your hands behind your head. Keep your head and shoulders up. Space through your chin, for your hand between your chin and collarbone. Right leg in the air, 90 degrees. Left leg in the air, 90 degrees. Then stretch it up, up. Lift your head and shoulders a little higher. Now see if you can lift your hips off the floor and reach your hands to your feet for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Head down, knees in. All right, bring the soles of your feet together on the floor. Let's open the hips a little bit. Right? We did so much closed hip. Take your hands on the inside of your thighs. Roll the hips open. Just gentle pressure here. And then stretch the arms out and overhead. Put them in the same shape as your feet. So diamond hands, diamond legs. Be careful of this excessive arch here. Roll your hips under. Rib cage down. Take a breath as you bring your feet on the floor. Line your heels up with your sitting bones. Release your arms, and then bring both knees to your chest. Keep the right leg in, extend the left leg out. Flex the feet, bring the knee on the outside of the rib cage. Take your left arm out to the side. I sounded Canadian for a moment. And then open the right knee out to the side. Now, if your left leg, your hip lifts, come back in a little bit more. Open up only as much as your body will allow with that hip staying stable. So maybe even put your hand on your hip. And now we're talking about spring and flowers and rain and things like that happening in our lives. Cross the leg over, take the opposite hand and twist. Just feel a nice release in the lower back outer hip. Come back to center. Hug both knees into your chest. Keep your left leg, extend your right leg. Left knee on the outside of your left hip or your waistline. Open your right arm to the side, open your left knee out. And then take your right arm and draw the knee across the body, spinal twist. And one more time, come back on your backs. Hug your knees into your chest. Hold on to your ankles, round and curl your spine. Stretch your legs straight up in the air. Lower your hands by your side or underneath your hips. Lower your head. Flex and point your toes, your ankles. And start to lower your legs to the floor. Keep flexing and pointing, lengthening out of your hips. Bring the ribs down. And then when the legs touch to the floor, come up onto your forearms, maybe the top of your head. No weight in your head. Open your heart. Breathe. Any variations are welcome. Inhale, chin to chest, exhale. Come on down all the way. Draw your knees back to your chest one more time. Take your right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left knee, and make big opposing circles. And reverse. And I'll give you the next minute or so to take any other poses that are speaking to you right now, or make your way to your final Shavasana. So April showers, springtime showers, will bring May flowers. Prepare for the rainstorm. When you're ready, lay down on your backs, bring your arms out to the side, let your hips splay open. Now we'll keep it. Let everything sink into the earth. Scan your head to toe. Allow the thoughts in your head to be still by focusing just more on the breath and the release. Let go. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Begin to make movement through your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Bring your knees back to your chest. Draw yourself onto either side. And make your way back to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Be grateful for yourself for making it to your mat anytime you do. I'm grateful for you sharing this time and space with me. Very different space than we're used to, but we're getting used to it. And vow in gratitude to each other to honor the light, the peace, the goodness, the love within each one of us. Namaste, Satnam. Go in peace. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you're staying for your ab challenge, I'll take you off. Stay home, stay fit, stay healthy. Get vaxxed. Wear a mask.